we talked about only the utility perspectives and not regaining or restoration or all these aspects we ignored and we dealt only in the unidimensional. But now, if you want to achieve the food security with the environment, food security without an environment will be very difficult to secure the food resources. So we need sustainable development, nothing but the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 17. Then waste valorization is not new, but the terminology seems to be a new. Value-added product, waste. Here, we are giving only importance for the main commodity. We didn't bother about the waste. But now, we have to waste also. We have to generate the wealth from the waste. That's the waste valorization. We have to validate. We have to make it into more comfortable. And circular economy aspect, circular bioeconomy. So sorry to say this, otherwise it will lead in another direction. Circular bioeconomy with reference to our subject area, our department, environment science. So one is sustainable development, another one is called the waste valorization and circular bioeconomy. That's the latest they are talking about the industry 4, industry 1, industry 2, industry 3. We only unidimensional because of economy 4. We didn't bother about the natural resources, environment, ecosystem, biodiversity, and other sources, pollution and all. We didn't bother about. We only dealt only the unidimensional. But now the industry 4 is newly they formulated, integrated, academia industry relations, collaborations. That means the beginning itself, when we are doing something, immediately we have to assess what is the impact on environment, what is the impact on ecology, what is the impact on soil, what is the impact on water, what is the impact on air quality, what is the impact on population, what is the impact on food commodities. And all these things we have to monitor. Then we have to carefully, we have to establish nature-based solutions. We don't need the technology alone. Technology we can keep it, but the solution should be nature-based. Nature is superior. That's why now we are suffering. This example, microplastics. Why you are thinking about the bioplastics? Bioplastics we are having. Soil microbial conservatorium to degrade, to mineralize. But synthetic polymers will be retained as such for long time. Cumulative factors. What is the fate of soil? Generation by generation. So all these problems we have to address in the circular bioeconomy. So waste, we have to take the first product. After that, the waste, we have to generate the second product. Again, from that you can generate the third product, and the waste will be minimized. Finally, the waste will be, if it is bio waste, within that ecosystem conditions, it will be finally, final destination is bio. So, zero waste generation or zero waste agro-ecosystem. Now the agro-ecosystem is perfect.
Ma'am, we are talking from Dean Office. Am I audible?
Or cultivation by cultivation. If you are following these criteria, then we need not worry about.
Ma'am, am I audible, ma'am?
Heavy metals, organic pollutant, other hazardous, non-hazardous, biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and ceramics, solid waste. We need not worry about every aspect. We have to clean and absorb. This is focus. So our research aptitude, our research vision, we have to little bit change. Give the more importance on the clean environment. So that's why I have taken this topic as a general topic. So now, the theme of World Environment Day, land restoration, desertification, and the drought resilience. This is the year World Environment theme. That's why they're telling. The theme of the World Environment Day says land restoration, desertification, and the drought resilience. Type it, bringing back healthy land. Bringing back healthy land is a single word. Is it possible? Do you think? 1970, 1960, before independence? Is it possible? Do you think? But the word is simple, very simple. So keeping desert from developing. Best example, Gulf countries and Israel, how they are doing. You are more experienced than me, your scientists, your colleagues. They are doing the wonderful work in Israel. How they are available little water, how they are maximizing the production, food production particularly, with reference to maybe fruits or cereals or legumes or tubers or leafy vegetables, whatever may be. They're producing. How? See, and managing water shortages. See, already we are under water shortages. Trees, healthy soil and clean water are imperative of a solid planet. Trees, healthy soil and clean water. Do you think that we are having adequate forest area with the tree plants? Do you think that all the soil body are healthy? We are having different freshwater body, but we think that it's clean. We are having so many water storage bodies. Is it possible without a treatment take and consume? Is it possible? Really, our colleagues experienced. We are here. We never come across the water. Wherever you go, take the well water or stream or river or whatever. Even in the lake and pond, we can no problem at all. You won't get any problems. But now, so that is we have the attention. We can't say business usual. If you are looking at business usual, very soon we will listen. Already the earth frequency very high. Why this is happening? You know this. What is the logic behind it? Already the mountain of ice bed melting. Now the Iceland is suffering by virtue of huge what is called the volcano continuously erupting. But the temperature is minus 56, minus 70, minus 80. Why this is happening? Why this happened? What is the reason? One thing I want to say, the recent UN and FAO addressed about this issue very seriously. What the total freshwater which are available in the world, global level, total, we extracted underground water 1,000 times what is available in the surface water. Like 1,000 times we extracted already the groundwater. What is the balance of earth? How? The temperature, you know, the earth structure and all these things, emerging the energy. How we will be going to control? It's an insulation. Groundwater, one of the way is functioning as an insulation. Now we are suffering. That is one of the component responsible for boost the often earthquake and the volcano. Today also happened morning. Every day the frequency will be going on increasing. What it shows? Underground water inadequate, fast melting of iceberg in both Arctic and Antarctic region. These are all the pillar to maintain the earth structure and the earth origin and the bioorganisms. That's why EP Water is telling that you should not talk about ecology, functional ecosystem. It may be abiotic or biotic, but together, either one of the way, they are doing the function. Do you agree or not? They are doing the function. Don't ignore the abiotic component. For example, if you are not having any healthy soil, clean water, what is the fate of us? What will be happening? So we will strive to make sustainable use of our natural environment so that no species will be threatened or disappear because of our actions. Is it possible? But we have to do it. No other option. We will remind our friends, family, and others about the importance of bringing the daily actions in order to protect the nature, essential for our future generation. Only past 30 years, this much of deterioration happened. Not earlier, just like that. rapid disappearance, rapid changes combined with the recent issues, climate change, climate resilience. So see, what is the sources in natural conditions, natural resources? Nature is home to biodiversity. We can ask ourselves, whatever the existing, created by the nature, they are comfortable, from small ant to elephant. Everything is comfortable. Everything is having adequate food, water, shelter, air, breathing, everything. Then nature has source for food, shelter, and medicines from nature, not from us. Then nature provides clean water, air, and healthy soils. We can ask ourselves, do you think that we are keeping, as per the principle of nature, we are keeping all these commodities or component, either abiotic or biotic component as such in the ecosystem or environment? No, we dominated. So sorry to say these words, we exploited over and above. Then nature inspires us. Sorry. Now we can see one by one what is the concept, why we have to learn about this circular bioeconomy. Sorry, I already told you circular bioeconomy. Economy will lead again in different aspects. So circular economy is a new production and a consumption model. Production and consumption. Best example, water scarcity. What is the available water resources? What is our per capita consumption? You calculate it. Do you think that we are having more resources reserve? No. Even the good season, we are always talking about the deficit. Why this is happening? Over exploitation. We have to maintain certain balance or ratio. We failure from that point. So ensure sustainable growth over time. This maintenance of ratio between the exploitation of these resources, between the resources, we have to maintain. What is the availability? What is the consumption? We should maintain certain ratio. That will give the answer for the sustainability. Everything, wherever, forever. How we can maintain? So with this circular bioeconomy, we can drive the optimization of resources. Now, the situation, we got to think about resources. How long is available? Reduce the consumption of raw materials and recover waste. This is the idea. We can't work in unidimensional. No more resources. Already all the wild animals, everything, they are moving. That means what it shows, the corridor, forest area, inadequate for living. This is true. That may be deer or a bear or whatever may be. And recover waste by recycling or giving it a second life as a new product. That means we can't ignore the waste. Waste should also be considered as a new resource for another product. This is the attitude we have to develop, integrate with the research also. We can't hereafter focus the use and throw. The aim of the circular economy is therefore to make the most of the material resources available to us by applying three basic principles. Again, waste management, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Whatever the things. In this way, the life cycle of products is extended. So the life cycle of product is extended. We can get primary product, waste. Again, the second product from the waste. Again, from the waste, third product. So the waste minimized. What we have taken is limited source of raw material, but we maximized our product. Now, ultimately, finally, you can find out zero waste discharge or zero waste generation. It may be industry, or it may be environment, it may be agricultural ecosystem or forestry ecosystem, whatever may be. Everything, it will be applicable unanimously. That's why in this way, the life cycle of products is extended. Waste is used and a more efficient. It should be treated. When you are taking the waste generating from the industry, agro industry or chemical industry or any industries or food industries, whatever you are getting the waste, immediately think out what is the next product we generate from this waste, instead of taking another resources material, new material, virgin material for one-dimensional productions. Instead of that, you can reduce. And the sustainable production model is established over time. This is the time we need. That is why they introduced the Industry 4. Industry 4 is different from Industry 1, 2, and 3. It's applicable to all the sector, all the phase. Nothing will be left out. So the idea arises from imitating nature, where everything has value and everything is used. Everything is value. We are not a producer. We never created anything. How we can say that it is useless, it is waste, it is not necessary? How we can say? How we can justify ourselves? We are not a creator. So that's why everything has value and everything is used. Accountability, where waste becomes a new resource. We have to change the concept. We should not say waste. Waste is a new resource for another product. This concept we have to develop as a researchers. You have to develop this concept. Don't omit. You have to develop this concept. In this way, the balance between progress and sustainability is maintained. Progress and sustainability. Idea we have to, in this way, the balance between progress and sustainability is maintained. Should be maintained within particular ratio. Now, the circular economy and the linear economy. So far, we followed the linear bioeconomy. Now, circular bioeconomy. So, whatever coming the economy, you bioeconomy. You not worry about that. Otherwise, it will mislead the economy. And we are not talking about economy. So here you see linear economy. So far, we used, that is our mistake. We should agree. Only we used the extract, produce, consume, throw away. Almost any sector. This is the way we used it. Why? We thought that what is available resources forever. But now we are facing the resource depletion. Then only we are realizing why this is happening. So over and above, we can't use it hereafter. So now the circular economy. Circular economy, again, it will recover, reduce, restore, mitigate, regenerate, all these terms within the cycle. Closed loop, but here linear loop. Closed loop. So circular economy, bioeconomy is extract, produce, consume, reuse, and recycle. Again, you go ahead. This is the way all sectors we have to concentrate. Biological sector or chemical sector or engineering sector, whatever may be, we have to follow not only regional, not only national level, global level. Then only we are able to retain what is existing resources for the future generation. Otherwise, all the resources will be exhausted within the stipulated time, unit of time. If we are consuming, if we are extracting current scenario, so we have to reduce. Already we reduced. For example, in the renewable energy, already we reached 25, more than 25%. We already replaced the fossil fuel. Already we are the renewable energy or solar energy or tidal energy or wind energy, all this. With the linear production models. In other words, we extract, produce, consume, and discard. The society in which we live means that the pace of consumption is accelerating. Consumption is accelerating. Consumption accelerating and production also accelerating, but we are not consuming within that unit of time. For example, more than 42 to 45% in the global level consumable food materials every day we are wasting altogether. Whatever the related to food related to sectors, agricultural sector or marketing or processing or preparation or whatever may be, modification, processing, all harvesting place, storage place, transportation, retail market, or wholesale market, all the places related to this food, every day 42% to 45% absolutely consumable by the human and animal, we are wasting. Then we are talking about the inadequate production of food materials. This tremendous contribution from your Tamil Nadu Agricultural University. We should remember 1960 what happened. After that, the accelerating finding, the green revolution. Otherwise, the present problem might have come over much earlier. They succeeded. We must thankful to wholeheartedly for the Tamil Nadu Agricultural University associated with ICR and IAR. True, you may not know what happened in 1960 to 62, 63. Food starvation. But at the time, we was enough natural resources. So the society in which we live means that the pace of consumption is accelerating. A model that is fast but unsustainable for the planet. Only we are consumption. All the market, all the commodities. If we are paying the money, we can get it. Who will be the producer? If all turn into consumers, who will be the producer? Who will be the stock maintaining personality? Who will be the taking care about the natural resource for the future generation or next generation? So the circular bioeconomy established a more sustainable production, the consumption limitation. Here one warning. You introduce the circular bioeconomy, certain regulation, policy proposed by our scientific community. So then we have to follow strictly regional, national, global level. Then we can mitigate these problems in which raw materials are kept longer in production cycle. We need not worry about again and again go for the raw material or virgin material. Can be used repeatedly. First, you can generate the product. What is left out to waste? Don't produce only the biocompost or what is called the vermicompost. Before that, it would be possible to extract some bioactive materials, health related, or industrial application, or microbial oriented, whatever may be. You try to that and minimize the waste. You should not coin the first producing waste itself is not a waste. It's a raw material for the second product. That attitude, concept we have to develop as a researcher. You have to be very careful. You are the pillar of the nation. Very difficult. Why we are telling? What we enjoyed in 1970, the resources not available now. So the circular economy, which raw materials are kept longer in production cycle and can be used repeatedly, therefore generating much less waste. So as its name suggests, the essence of this model is that resources are kept in the economy for long as possible, making it possible to use the waste we generate as raw material for other industries or other products, other industries. Industry one is using the raw material, producing the product, giving the waste material. Why you are deleting? This waste material must be supplied as a raw material for the second industry to generate the second products. That's the things now they are doing for this, particularly the fruit industries. What you are taking the extract and all these things, then whatever left out this peel and all waste, they are using for extracting the potential health promoting bioactive substances, flavonoids, polyphenols. Then dietary fibers, equivalent to resistant starch, maintain the health, boost the soil health. Then you can prepare the biocompost, final stage. That will boost the total organic carbon or organic matter in the soil. Soil fertility will be improved. It will be going to become a big fuel for the microorganism conservatory in the soil. So likewise, we have to think of all these things. So the 10 principles of a circular bioeconomy. One is refuse. We consume more than we need. Refusing. We consuming more than what we need. Today we are practicing. Do you agree or not? Do you agree or not? You look into the how many markets are there, how many products are there, how much we are actually consuming, how much they are throwing as a waste. Just to think over that. Is coming from different resources from the land area. Example, agricultural products. You think about that. How much effort, how much energy waste, how much volume of water, what is the fate of soil fertility? What is the fate of emission, phenomena, climate change, emerging of heat energy? All these things we have to think about that. The complex system we can't ignore. Refusing to have such unnecessary products through solutions that maximize the usage of fewer goods. Certain goods, certain things are not possible, but certain things it could be possible. Refuse. And then rethink. Every product and every system needs to be rethought with a focus on how to reduce its environmental impact. That's more important. We have to rethink. If we are doing such kind of activities, what is the impact in environment and ecosystem, biodiversity, soil health, water, air quality? All the things we have to think about. So by investing in innovative projects and supporting rethinkers, we can move faster to an eco society. Technology is behind that, science and technology, but driving force is eco-technology, eco-friendly driving society. That means no one cannot be ignored in this forum. Each and every individual, every organism is having own grievances collectively in the ecosystem or environment. Then we have to take care about all those things. That's the idea. Foster to an eco-driven society. We change our attitude. Then reduce. The central idea of circular economy, bioeconomy is dematerialization or doing more with less. Doing more with less. We do the more activity. Maximum we can utilize with less quantity. That means almost exhausted. Zero waste discharge. Not only particular sector, not only the industrial sewage discharge alone, all the places. Then reuse, fourth component. To achieve zero waste and reduce carbon emissions, we must look beyond the make waste. Extractive industrial model linked with the traditional knowledge. That's one. See, you can take up modern industries. Industrial model, something in the environment or disturbing the environment or ecosystem, what kind of consequences we will be going to face with reference to the micro environment or macro environment or climatology in regional level or national level or global level. Already they optimized, they understood the way of behaving of environment and the ecosystem thoroughly, but they didn't express in terms of science. Unwritten scientific document they followed. That's the things we have to now link, integrated with this reuse. The simple things. If in your home, if they are using the firewood, main product, maybe the food, rice or some sambar they are preparing, side by small hole is there. They are putting for rasam or something else they are prepared. One type of energy, they split up into small energy for preparation of rasam or milk or something else. And the main things, the energy utilized for the complete preparation of the main dish of the food. Now, the single energy source shared and utilized within the unit of thing, the emission ultimately, thermal emission or carbon dioxide emission, carbon monoxide emission will be reduced there itself. Immediate solution. You need not worry about that. When the food is ready, your hot water is ready for bathing in the morning. The same source, without any affecting the product generation. Why you have to put separate firewood and heating and getting the hot water? Think about every house. So that's why they are telling, I'm not telling, UN is telling, FIA is telling, and WHO is telling, I'm not telling. Reuse. They are telling very carefully, make waste extractive, industrial model linked with the traditional knowledge. That's a treasure. You may not know. You discuss with our respected process, they knows how we lived earlier very comfortably without any problems, hygienically, with low income. Then fifth, repair. How many of you are doing now the repair? Aims to extend product life cycle and to preserve rather than throw away. How many of you, your day-to-day used materials, if anything is happening, you are repairing and reusing? Do you spending the time for that? Think about that. Then refurbish. Refurbishing is the process of restoring an old or discarded product and bringing it up to date to serve its initial function. If you are not using the old materials, you can keep it as such and give to somebody else. They are capable, they are having the capability to repair and use it. Earlier, they used this kind of approaches, they used, even including all the vessels and all. But now, damaged components are replaced, resulting in an overall update while the product looked brand new. You have to make it into new, old, but you make it into new. Enhancing the refreshment of products can decrease the need for new material, because ultimately what is our aim? We should not take again the new material. You think about the mining operation, why we are suffering? The environmental science or environment is more focusing on the mining operation. Again and again we are extracting the ore from the nature. What is the necessary? For best example, iron, aluminium. Why? The old material you can recycle it and again you can use it. So this is the way we have to do, resulting in a reduction of waste and a carbon emission. Carbon emission, new material, ore. Again you have to extract the iron or gold or aluminium or copper. Then you have to huge energy you have to spend, and the emission you can't control. Instead of that, why? You can use it old material, make it into new, recycle it. The resources will be retained as such. The environment will be protected. Now we are all we have done. Now we are thinking about the restoration of the mining and the gold industries and all these things. Why? So remanufacture, reconditioning involves refreshing and reusing parts of discarded products in a new product with the same function, almost the same. And repurpose. What if an old ladder could be turned into a brand new bookshelf? Upcycling, repurposing a discard product into a new one with a different function is a growing trend that we have to take care of. Then recycle, 9. Today, only 9% of our used material are recycled. 9% on altogether. then how much of raw material we need for manufacturing sector in the industries? Think about the agriculture products. Earlier in the evening, what you are left out the rice, you can put it in the water and keep it in the refrigerator or in the as such in the house, 5 or 6 or 8 degrees centigrade. Morning you can take and add the buffalo curd or a cow curd, and you can take it, and up to 1 o'clock you can do your duty in field condition or whatever may be. You won't get any energy loss. What is the present situation? Because the rice within that whole night become a resistant starch. If you are taking fresh rice, the digestibility will be within the 30 minutes. Whether you need or not, the glucose will be over and above pumped in the blood and under the stress we face. But if you're doing like that, already the resistant starch enzymatically slowly will be digested. It will go up to, as per the regulation, 3 hours for complete digestion. You will get a constant glucose pumping in the bloodstream, and the energy will be constant, whether insulin dependent or not, doesn't matter. How many of you are following? These are all not new. That's why I'm telling traditional knowledge. How many of you are following? Perfect combination. Curd, protein plus lipid, rice, carbohydrate. Already enough vitamins and other things. Then lunchtime you can take all these vegetables and all vitamins and the carotenoids and whatever you macronutrients. That's all. Now recover 10. What if waste? Waste was not waste. Though anaerobic digestion, final stage, recover. If it is not used for anything, you can go for biocompost or go for biomaterial. I'm telling you about the biomaterial alone. Biocompost. Then anaerobic digestion, microorganisms can break down into a biodegradable waste, into material can use, generate energy, biogas. Okay, you can produce, reduce the pollution, water acidification and carbon emission. Finally, so you can safely prepare a fertilizers. So next one is, what is the concept and idea of valorization of waste? So far we talked only about the waste. Waste means waste, but here the concept is wealth from the waste. So valorization is the process of preserving or enhancing the what is called the price or value of something, most commonly done with the help of the government of an organization. In other words, the act of valorization means thinking that their product or service has value. This is, so far we thought that it is only the financial related or economic related or commercial phase related only, we thought that, but not like that. Valorization of waste, we have to come to the environment and the ecosystem. Biomaterials, you can value whether really waste, some valuable material, valuable products are there. You will have to evaluate and evaluate, and then you can extract, then minimize the waste. So waste valorization is the process of reusing, recycling and composting waste materials. Either one of the way, we have to integrate with the life cycles. Now they are introduced life cycles. This life cycle is different from other life cycles, and converting them into more useful products, including materials, chemicals, fuels, or other sources of energy. Waste can be valorized in several ways of generating heat and power, solid or liquid fuel, whatever may be, biomaterials or chemicals, biofertilizer, carbon, activated carbon, graphene, additives, volatile acids. We are all now preparing all the citrus peel. We are getting the volatile oil, excellent antioxidants. Food preservatives, natural food preservatives, instead of synthetic food preservatives. We are adding the carcinogenic that we can generate only from the waste. You know the pickle, how they prepare? Even after using this tamarind, after extracting the what is called rasam, the waste tamarind pulp, they are retaining as such. What is the purpose of retaining this waste? I don't think it is not waste. They are maintaining as such one corner in the kitchen. What is the purpose? Huh? Huh? Vessels in the kitchen. If you're using that one, if you're cleaning, excellent. Because acidic condition, the copper vessel and brass and all these things won't get rust. But if you're a little bit enhancing the pH, then it will immediately show the rust or something like that. They are using this. The same way the excess amount of this peel also. How many of you are using in your home? You are using more detergent and all these things and the chemicals and partially if you are not cleaning your vessel, the adhering chemicals will be swollen along with the food. Maybe we can consider as a food additives, chemicals, food additives. Then we will go to the hospital or take the pills for a week or 3 days or 4 days. Seems to be a simple, but if you are collectively, if you are following in the society, we can reduce the chemical pollutant from the kitchen. Do you agree or not? Fine. These are all we have to think about and evaluate. So now waste valorization stages and products. What are all the general phenomena? First, we can use the resources. Food waste are undervalued biomass and whatever things you see sorting. Pre-treatment, stage 1, stage 2. These are all the possible way, multi-dimensional way we can do sorting out, chipping, drying, soaking, grinding. These are all the sorting. Then stage 1, thermal conditioning or catalyst, solvent, you can use it to extract something. And the enzymatic treatment, you can do it. And stage 2, if you're extracting something else, then you go for the next stage. Composting, hydrolysis, fermentation, liquefaction, and incineration and gasification. All this process. So finally, it will reach this cumbersome. What is that? Energy, cosmetics. What is that? Energy products. You can go for this cosmetics, soil amendments, then economy, society, valorization. See, you see, biomedical, electronics, aviation, automation, and biocompose. So finally, gas, biosolids, biocarbon, carbon nanotube, carbon fiber, graphene. So we can reduce this carbon pollution or carbon emission in this way. We have to think about that. What kind of material? It will be more suitable to do the process in this different model. So many models are there, other models are also there. We have to think about all these things. So only the resources. See, single resources, multiple usage. Ultimately, we reduce complete waste. Waste generation will not be there. Zero waste generation. Here, plant residues derived, come to our area, plant residues derived valorization. These are all the possibilities from the waste. One is biochemicals we can extract, and biomaterial we can extract, and biofuel we can extract, and power and heat, energy we can extract. So here, protein, pectin, polyphenols, essential oils, and organic acids, and biomaterial, nanofibers, textiles, synthetic scaffolds, then biofuels, bioethanol, biohydrogen, biobutanol, biomethanol, biogas. All from the waste, not new materials, please. And then power, heat, electricity, and steam, all from the waste materials. Then you see, these are all the what we need. This process development, techno-economic analysis, and environmental analysis, social analysis, policy establishment. All together, we have to work out to reduce, minimize this waste. Then another model, you see, the same way. What is the material we are having? What is our idea? We have to, according to, we have to use this model slightly different. We can also include this landfill and other parameters. So what is the pre-consumer food waste? Pre-consumer food waste. Pre-consumer food waste is the factor which is responsible for propagating the inadequate food in the regional or national level. This is the problem. It may be a small, but you think about every family, every place. Collectively, if you're looking that, the issue will be very high, very big. So then You can do it for the management of waste by incineration. If it is not possible, you can go for incineration. Then composting, you can go again. So these are all nutrient recovery. Then other process, biorefinery, carbon cycle, water recovery. See, nutrient and bioprocess, all these things. Again and again, it will cycle. It won't jump from the cycling policy or cycling process. Such a way we have to construct a model, and then we have to treat the accordingly to the waste. What kind of waste? What is the quantity? What is the volume? What kind of treatment, processing is necessary? What kind of product we are expecting? So all this predetermined, we make a model. Model to model, it will be variable slightly. For here is different, combining with all these industries and all. Then plant waste valorization towards circular and sustainable biocomposting. This is only strict with the composting, bioeconomic and sustainable biocompost. We have to go all these things. Different process. See, pre-treatment, hydrolysis, monomeric sugar, then go for fermentation. Then you can prepare these bioplastic products. The wood materials nowadays, so many underdeveloped and developing nations, they already started the bioplastic production from the waste wood material with different combinations. Waste material, agro waste. They are making combination and then making the bioplastic according to the requirement, according to the applications. Then go for the bioplastic and then microbial degradation. Then it will be, we need not about microplastics. Here, bioplastics. So whatever the biomolecules generated by the nature itself is having the capability, provisions to degrade, mineralize, and finally we can say central metabolic pathway, it will enter, and no more waste, no more pollution. Microorganism is doing this kind of concept. If it is okay, the microorganism will accept in the central metabolism, TCA cycle. Finally, the ATP generation, oxidative phosphorylation, energy generation. It will enter into any one of the way, it will be converted into a molecule, then it enter into the central metabolic pathway. Thereafter, you can't say it is pollutant or hazardous or toxic, nothing. The regular component of the living organism. It will be transferred to microorganism to macroorganisms and other organisms. This is the way. See, then carbon, hydrogen, nutrients, and the plant cultivation, harvesting, and lignocellulosic biomass, and then again, cycling is going on. Nothing is waste. Nothing is dumping in the environment or ecosystem. Agro-waste derived bioproducts and bioactive compounds, another way. What is the health aspects related to human and as well as the animal? What are all the products we can generate from the agro-waste? That is extraction and the pre-treatment and the hydrolysis, then the anaerobic digestion, all this you can apply in the waste material accordingly. Then you can extract. We need a microgram or nanogram of bioactive substance every day with our intake of food material. Otherwise, the sariram will be collapsed. Now the nanoparticle enter into the bloodstream, is circulating in the heart. Egg is having the nanoplastics. All the animals invariably is having these nanoplastics or microplastics. Embedded in the human tissues now. Blood samples. In Netherlands, they approximately 27 people. They randomly selected. They didn't do any designed experiments. Just take the blood sample from the 27 or 28 people. About 17 to 18 people, they are having these microplastics in the blood. That means day-to-day lifestyle completely occupied by the or completely polluted by these microplastics and nanoplastics, inseparable in the day-to-day life. Do you agree or not? Even if you are having the latest information, the water bottle clean water bottle itself is having 1,200 to 1,400 nanoplastics. It is considered to be hygienic water with water bottle. Breast milk plastics. Baby in the fetus, microplastics. All the organisms. Now they found out separate experiments they conducted. It's true. They announced that too much of accumulation of even the nanoparticle circulating with the bloodstream is highly responsible than other disease for creating the heart attack. How we can find out the remedy? So this is the way agro-waste derived bioproducts and bioactive compounds. Bioactive compounds we need. So extraction you do, nutraceutical you can take it, biodiesel you can extract from the jatropha and so many things, and bio nanoparticle. If you want a nanotechnology application, then you can take nanoparticle, you can isolate it from there, and then phytochemicals, enormous flavonoids, polyphenols, high molecular weight polyphenols, potential antioxidant activity is supporting the microorganism growth in the soil conservatorium. If you are adding the pigments, carotenoids, along with this soil microplastics is boosting, it preventing, we have to find out the mechanism, it preventing the microplastics impact in the soil, particularly nutrient bioavailability. But addition of this natural products, carotenoids series, because all the plant leaves and residues is having carotenoids, no doubt this is not a new, is suppressing the impact of these microplastics. First report they once said. It could be possible. As a researcher, you can think about that different carotenoid combination from the natural resources, and you can start for the effect of carotenoids on the microplastics on soil, particular microplastics, or combination of microplastics, or combination of microplastics heavy metal, or combination of microplastic heavy metal and sludge, or hazardous waste, or hazardous chemicals, or toxic chemicals. Then only we can find out the solution finally. It's the way we have to think about that. Then another thing, this is another, yeah, agro waste valorization, again different, it will depend on the products, depend on the material generating. So you can use this model as this model, agro waste, that is the lignocellulose waste, animal dropping, and dung. So all these things, how to do it, and all this agro waste valorization, you have to think about that. Different application way you can circle, but it should be in the circular bioeconomy. Anyway, it should circle, nutrient cycling, circular. It should not deviate. It should not create another pollution or waste. Within that, it should be utilized properly and effectively. What are the different industries, animal industries, and then food industries and food processing industries, and all the places, biofuels, enzymes, biofertilizers, and all these things. So you can make it, and you think about that preparing from the waste all kind of products to reduce this waste generation. Then agro waste biomass and recycling towards circular bioeconomy, another model. So here you can use it all these things. So this type of energy security regarding that chemical engineers, scientists, and all together. So efforts we have to create it, and advantages of agro waste. So we can renewable and sustainable chemicals, and assessing carbon dioxide fixation, local economy development and simulation, and reduction in air pollution level. All these from the waste, we have to agro biomass, agricultural biomass, waste biomass. We have to think about in another way. Slides like the difference between this model. What kind of material? That's why particular model or particular idea we can't implement unanimously certain places. For example, in the microplastic extraction, very difficult to do soil and water. Even the water, what kind of water? What kind of effluent? What kind of sewage? What is the concentration? What is the other interfering substances? Depend on that. We have to little bit change. We have to optimize. ourselves and find out the effective methodology to extract this microplastic. Even if you are establishing that methodology cannot be followed by others for the other work, some difficulties you may face it. Now, the circular economy, already we can talk about this issue. Many industries operate linear economic model, and now we are concentrating on different models. So the agricultural sector by and a large operator as a linear economic model that create food waste and greenhouse gases. Do you agree or not? Yes, every day the fruits, vegetables, waste we are throwing. Either only one dimension, we are looking for only biocompost. Sometimes that also a big problem. If you are adding animal waste too much, then the biocompost will not be perfect. You know very well. So this has to be sorted out. So primary principles, circular economic model can reduce agricultural waste by reusing all products and byproducts to generate additional value. Already we talked about this. So this is ultimately should promote the sustainability. We have to keep it the resources reserved for the next generation. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next month, next year. Should not exhaust. With the biodiversity concept, if you're looking that, most of the species disappear. In my experience, I want to share. Sorry, if your time over, please tell me that I will stop. Atlasia species is very close relative of this wild species of this Cajanus cajan, red gram. Atlasia, different species, Atlasia guensis, Atlasia scarboides. These are all. I heard opportunity when I was studying in the Bardere University in the campus itself. I just picked up this plant and just a smell, I felt myself is, red gram, red gram, red gram. Such a wonderful wild relatives. But now, because of climate change, completely disappeared. I didn't able to get even a single plant within the campus. Campus is still as such. We didn't disturb too much, but we didn't able to find out the plant within a span of 20-25 years. Think about that. How many wild relative crops, because they need a special environment. The adaptation is the problem. Habitat niche, microclimatic environment is playing a major role than genetics. Sensitive to climate change, they disappear. So that we have to think about the promote sustainability, help the agriculture sector maximize profits by meeting customer expectations, uncovering new opportunities, strengthening supply chain and increasing efficiency. Because if disappeared all the wild related species, then we will be going to suffer. The breeding program will be failure. We need the gene pool to emerge new cultivars, new species, or whatever may be. So these are all the problems. So this is the things we need to address in the circular. So circular approaches revolution in the future farming, no doubt at all. That already we discussed, need not worry. Then principles of sustainable circular economy. What is the major principles? What is the focus? Eliminate waste and pollution. Circulate products and materials as their highest value. Regenerate nature. Restore the nature. It's not easy. Is a resilient system that is good for industry, people, and the environment all together. We can't separate the environment from the society. Society cannot be treated separately from the environment. It's a complex system, integrated to each other. Maybe the magnitude of integration may be less or high or medium, but always within the complex system, all the components. Conservation, regeneration of biological materials, diversity, that also. Then nature-based solution for restoration of abiotic components in the ecosystem. That is the less exploitation of the ore or raw material for industrial purpose or in agro-industry or whatever may be. The benefits of circular bioeconomy. protect the environment. We can protect the environment and benefit the local economy. So we can get the benefit of the local economy. We need not to pay too much, cost effective. Then drive employment growth. We can generate the employment growth within that vicinity without too much of technology interference. That's your traditional experience. We can promote. Then promote as resource independence. Resource independence. The resource of local resource can lead to less independence on imported raw material. So we can promote the resource independent. We know that particular place, particular society, people, they know how to handle, how to keep it as such for a long time, how much we have to take. For example, the tribal people are those who are living in the far away in the forest area is a real conservator of biodiversity, because they will take the resources from the forest only for their own consumption, not for selling, not for economy, not for money. So the resources will be remaining, will be maintained as such forever long time. If your intensification, the exploitation intensification is the one of the tools which are responsible for rapid deterioration of the biodiversity and biomaterials. Poaching, illegal trading, all these things. Such a way we have to do it. Then characters of now, we can come to the second part. Okay, we can talk about circular bioeconomy and sustainability, and what is that? Another thing is waste valorization. These are all three key components which are responsible for future, not only for the regular conventional crop, and also for the underutilized or neglected crop species. If you are neglecting, it will be eliminated from the ecosystem or environment. This is necessary, allied species necessary to improve, especially agriculturists, they need, definitely. That's why they are doing germplasm in Delhi, IBGRI. They are conserving all these germplasms. No problem. So these are all the factors. We have to concentrate on the characters of the neglected crops. Then now we can go a little bit. What is the crop? How they within a 15 or 20 years, how they made it into a valuable product. Neglected crop, how it is coming to the valuable crop. A non-toxic edible Jatropha curcus plant. I had the experience, worked with the very good scientist from the Mexico. Only one place, the Jatropha is non-toxic. They are consuming after processing as a peanut. You may not believe. Only one place, even Mexico also, only one place. That we found out there is no toxicity. Borbol ester is the toxicity. Very nice yield. The plant and the fruit and seeds, everything appears similar to the toxic variety. But only one, the Borbol ester is mutagenic components, is completely almost nil, very residual, is not attractive. Is consuming oil, they are consuming, they are preparing all the materials. See, these are all the different components of toxicity, but low or non-toxic variety, you look into that, the Borbol esters, very low concentration. Even we didn't able to detect. I worked with that fellow. He came through that fellowship. We worked it together. Then we came to that. We surprised. We used the HPLC, very optimized HPLC. We didn't find out. So only other anti-nutrient, trypsin, chymotrypsin inhibitor, lectins, carbohydrate containing proteins and all these things, amylase inhibitors and alpha glucosidase, beta glucosidase and esterase inhibitors. So see, this is the things. So now they may become a value added. You see, what about the things? Husk. They prepared the biochar, different application in agricultural sector to boost the soil carbon, total organic carbon we can boost. We can use as a phytoremediation for the heavy metal removal, other pollutant, biochar, activated carbons from the husk and seed coat. See how they are making value and they are selling the product. You see how valorization, value-added product they're generating from this useless up to our concept is useless. How they are producing oil, potential biofuel, biocompost, leftover residues, biopesticide, the borbol ester one side acting as a toxic. But if you are making process and appropriate processing after combination is found to be a wonderful pesticide and what is called weedicides and all. Wasteland development programs already in our state also already they launched. You are the pioneer, you launched all these things. Then green manure and mulching, wonderful things. All the benefits. Then you see now, see they are preparing a dish by using this kernel after processing. The two dish, one is Tamales dish and then Pepitorius dish, the special dish they are preparing. And then also mixing with the vegetables. What is our day-to-day vegetables they are mixing and consuming after boiling, just like a peanut, they are boiling and mixing with this and they are consuming. Amazing. Only one place in Mexico. You could not all the places. They are already they protected and they are yes. So this is the things now. What are all the product they generated at national, international level? Biodiesel production from the seed oil, seed meal as potential feed source for chicken, cattle equivalent, and instead of soybean meal. That's the idea. Soybean meal already costed. So we have to replace the protein quality and oil quality and palatability almost is equivalent to soybean. Why you have to think about the soybean? Replace. We used to this one. We used for the fish and the chicken and cattle, ruminants, particularly milking cow and beef cow, all these things is working fine. Then fruit pericarp shell as potential biofertilizer. You can use it. Deflated seed meal with wheat meal, preparing a traditional human food source without any toxicity in Mexico. They are consuming. Then plant residues for soil fertility improvement, nutrient cycling in agro ecosystem. And another one, latest development. See, this is the things. This is the things that they day to day in the home they are preparing and consuming. Then latest information is oil pollution, where this vehicle oil, crude oil, petroleum-based oil pollution in the soil. If we are introducing these Jatropha plant in that soil, then course of time it is remediate the soil. It is remove this phytoremediation for oil pollution simultaneously. Another thing, you may not believe or not, the production of oil in the seed also will be enhanced. Such a wonderful mechanism. Latest they developed in the just this year they developed in Mexico. See, because the climatology, the fruit production seed setting is enormous when compared with our place. Apart from the genetic climate also is playing a role for the seed and fruit quality. I had experience. I collected the seeds, very low temperature in hilly region, very productive. The same plant if in terrestrial ecosystem with a warm temperature, the productivity is very less. Fruit setting percentage is very less. Seed setting percentage is very less. But in the cool climate, it's a similar way. So climate is playing a major role rather than the genetics. See, next one is Canavelia ensiform is just the underutilized crops. That is what neglected crops. So what are all the good things? So it's drought tolerant and weed and pathogen suppressing and mulching. You can use living mulch. Living mulch. How you are thinking about the Petrosia Purpurea and the Rotavaria bellicosa? Agency. And the Petrosia Purpurea. Likewise. Living mulch. Green mulch. Drought tolerant. Water efficiency. Then animal food, animal fodder, and human nutrition. The seeds, wonderful seeds that we are not using, we are neglecting. The sources of concanavanine, A, lectin and canavanine. Con A is the lectin. And another concanavanine is argine, alaga, anag, non-protein amino acid. Is excellent for the cancer. But in general, as concerned, the nutrient is so it is heat labile. When you are processing, hydrothermal processing, boiling, this will be nullified. We can consume easily. Just like our other beans and all these things. Is having the protein, protease inhibitors, like protein. So once if you are subject under the hydrothermal processing, simple processing, cost effective, don't use technology, then it will be clear. And it also the inhibitor is having high essential amino acids that we can take along with the proteins. We can consume. So this is a 30% of protein and 60% of carbohydrate, less fat. Only 0.2% or something. Other minerals are there, and some of these anti-nutrient or heat labile we can use for some post boiling and again the fermentation by using the microorganisms. So we can enhance the value or enhance the nutritive capability. Such a way we can enhance this quality of this bean consumption. So let's say another thing, and it is having the excellent agronomical characters. This what is that? Mycorrhizal is adhering with the root in the beginning itself. Then it will be going to solubilize and produce this phosphate solubilizing enzyme phytase and all of that, and supporting for the plant growth, because the root exudative attracting this mycorrhizal colony, and then together they are facilitating the nutrient cycling and nutrient availability in the soil solution. Such a way they are working very fine together. So wonderful crop. It's thriving under the severe soil and harsh climatic conditions. Water efficiency, only the small herb or something like that. So yield also 10 tons per hectare, dry matter basis, and seed about 2.5 tons per hectare. So weed suppressor, just like allelopathic effect, whatever this from the shedding leaves or from the root, what is coming out the biochemical, it will be going to suppress the certain weed, but not affect the ecosystem or environment. Intercropping, you can use it by maize and cassava for conserving agriculture. You can use the intercropping, green manure, soil fertility improvement, and the intercropping with the banana for nematode suppression. This is only one. Only with the banana, the nematode problems will be suppressed by this plant, because it is having some anti-nutrient as well as the lectin and non-protein amino acid, arginine analog. So misleading. If they are consuming, seems to be arginine, but it is not arginine. Only one O is extra in canonic. No O in arginine. So this will make toxicity for the pest and the pathogens. So automatically natural pesticide, natural pathogenic controls. Then another species, Canamelia gladiator, you might have known this. So these are the same, little bit the same characteristics. Both the species are more or less the same 26% protein and fat, about 2 or 3%, and 60% of carbohydrate. So within that 40% starch. Now they are extracting the starch from the seeds. Wonderful starch, just like a potato starch or rice starch or wheat starch. Now from the neglected crop, they are extracting the pure starch for different food industrial application and other applications. So this intercropping with the black gram and all these things, this black gram study done in the TNAO, your university has done. So this is another Mukuna pruriens. So mulching crop, cover crop, potential protein, carbohydrate, and everything. Biomass productivity unit area very high, is thriving very nicely. Then maintain the soil moisture and water holding capacity and all these things. Nitrogen, that is nitrogen will be produced, just 5 minutes. And then it is having one anonymous or unique characters, L-dopa, 4 to 6%, It is highly useful, only medicine for the natural medicine for the Parkinson diseases, neuro disorders. It is a dopamine precursor. Otherwise, we have to take from synthetic, not necessary. If you're consuming the seeds after processing, residual L-dopa is working fine. It's no problem at all. And then Moringa oleifera, you know all these things. Hereafter, we should not talk about this neglected crop or not. It's highly promoted crop. Whatever the things, all you can residue everything. Nothing is waste in Moringa. I had an opportunity to work with this one. We developed the alternative feed against the soybean and fish protein. Fish protein itself 65%. We replaced by using this Moringa leaf powder. It's working fine. Excellent. High efficiency to conversion of beta carotene to vitamin A. This plant, if you are feeding with the animal, particularly with our experience with the fish, much conversion efficiency very high. We analyzed by using the HPLC. We found out not in other animals. So then if you're consuming a small indigenous fish resources as a food material, then you will automatically directly get the vitamin A without any problem via these crop leaf materials. See, these are all the product. Then these are all the how to do it, this waste valorization, all this process, and then application of bakery industries. What are all the possible things? Almost every product now they are adding this because it's having potential antioxidant activity. The shelf life will be extended for the products. So then rich in nutrients and high density leaf production. This another thing is we can maintain maximum half a meter or 1 meter every time you can cutting, and then mixing with the other forage crops or dried crops, then feed for the ruminant. So excellent for all small ruminant or cow or buffalo or milking. So you can use it. Wonderful things. Is they are doing. We experimented with this. Our group experimented through FAO. Then it's working very fine. So similar things we can cut it and then we can also use it. Nothing is waste. Not necessary only for fruit and flowers and a big tree, not necessary. That also we can reduce the nutrient uptake. We can optimize. Within that we can harvest and utilize. Less input, maximum output. This is another juice. Recently also they sprayed and then ICR, under ICR, they found a wonderful response. Just like a plant growth promoter. It's a juice. Then it is using already, you know, the biofuel, and is using as a 61% defetted meal. You can use as animal food or proteins. So then these are all the characters necessary. So another thing, the protein, the younger protein we can consume as such, but the mature protein is not that much favorable for human consumption because ionic properties, just like a Dovex. What is that ion exchange column? What is we are using this ion exchange resin, Dovex different grader. Likewise, it is function. So immediately you can use it for the cationic poly electrolytes for the extracting these different effluent. This is remediation. So flocculant for solids, aquatic organisms, and reduce turbidity and improve the water quality, water treatment, particularly the drinking water. We can use it. Wonderful thing. This protein never dissolve, but it functions as a what is that? The ion exchange property. The entire protein is not a consumable or a, what is that? A food protein. It's not a structured protein. It's a different protein. Then Sophocarpus tetragonaloba, another wonderful cover crop, and green manure, and then the tuber also consumable, and then it also we can use it, the seeds also we can use. But now this almost is reduced to only thriving in Wayanad and all these cool places in the Western Ghats alone. Rest of the place before 20-25 years before, widely spread in that all the places, but now restricted only because climate conditions. It required a special climate for thriving. So if you are not taking care, if you are not integrating with the regular crops, it will course of time, it will disappear or extinct. So the another thing, Vigna conutifolia, you know all this Naripere. It's a wonderful fodder crop, dry condition, water efficient crop. We can consume only trypsin and chymotrypsin inhibitors. Other factors are very less. Biomass productivity, good for animal production, and all these things. So it won't make any any waste. So zero waste. Similarly, the allied species, Vigna trilobeta. This also, I had opportunity to collect these places, but now almost it's disappeared. It's very close relative of this Vigna conutifolia. So this is also wonderful crop for this neglected crop, but a wonderful crop for soil conservation and the soil fertility improvement and fodder crop and all these things. And the seeds, they are having the high trypsin inhibitor, so normally they won't consume. But other plant parts they are using for mulching and soil fertility improvement. And another thing is Macrotyloma uniform. Two varieties. One is black, and another one is what is the partial or less red varieties. This one. So it's wonderful crop. So this also is having potential animal feed, and we can consume as a soup and spout. It's a wonderful crop, and see, it's good for the low digestible carbohydrate, diabetics itself, because the starch is not easily digestible starch. Like what with this one? We compared with this normal bread, and then we used, and then the same. So water efficiency, not too much of water. There is no waste. So this crop you have to incorporate and give the priority, opportunity to become and elevate a common crop. Then another thing, Parkia aspergillus is only northeastern region. Valuable products, tree beans for food nutrition and regional climate security. It is taking care about all these environmental factors. If you are looking that, because of time, I am unable to read all these things. I discuss with these things. You can do it. Whatever you need. What is the absolute crop characteristics? Exactly. Now they are introducing as a agroforestry tree species all the places. They won't face any difficulties. All aspects, fodder and so many applications. Food materials, even you can consume without any process. Raw material you can consume. Wonderful plant. Also having small quantity. That is more important. That one is having 4 to 6%. Here only small L-DOPA. That is more enough. When you are consuming this, that is enough for the rectifying this Parkinson disease or neuro disorder. Dopamine breakers, nervous disorders will be rectified. It is also several several environmental qualities, ecological qualities. See, soil microorganism is having wonderful association and releasing and maintaining the nutrient in the soil fertility. It's the specific characteristics of this tree plant. You see what are all the microorganism association, and it is boosting the organic matter, and then water infiltration, soil physicochemical parameters, the porosity, and then reduce the soil erosion, improve the soil quality. All the parameters are there. It also having the pesticides, that is biopesticides, bioinsecticides. So see, the branches are used for firewood and animal feed, cattle feed, fodder, cattle and other livestock. So those are things how they are maintaining, how they are regulating regularly, they are collecting and consuming and selling in the market, and how they are maintaining the ecosystem. Because if you are giving little bit importance in the neglected crops, at least we can reduce the pressure upon the common crops. We can give the breathing time for the common crops. Otherwise, we are always intensifying the common crops. Simultaneously, we are not at all taking care about this neglected crop. Nuclear club already the people, some people they are using, some they are using for health aspects and as well as nutrition aspects and other environmental ecosystem services also. That also we have to include it. We should not ignore. That's why they have done all these things. So another is fasciolitis, kilabin, wonderful thing. Is a high saponin content, high proteins. The saponin is good for the health, and sometimes it is highly toxic. And then is having this what is called as a leaf. Is wonderful by because the bioactive substances, alkaloids, so many terpenoids and all these things is more helpful interact with the soil microorganisms. And then another one, instead of coffee, you can try with the process and then powder, you can use it as a coffee powder. So alternate. So eco-friendly, environmental friendly, such a wonderful seed coat. So this is the things. And this is African plant is having the drought tolerant Stylolisma esculentum, Amara bean, the Kalahari forest, Kalahari desert area. It's a unique characters. It's growing on that place. The seeds you can consume, but the tuber is having completely 80 to 90% water resources. At the time during the drought condition, you can use it this one. Then Pithecelabium delci, you know already, Sinipuliyanga, Manila tamarind. So many applications, just like equal to conventional crops. So different parts we can use it. And then Jaipas marutiana and Celosia abida. Here. Then Almenia nodiflora is one of the best green vegetable. Almenia nodiflora. 40% of the digestible protein. No leafy vegetable is having these huge amount of this protein. That's why the traditional knowledge, they are using these vegetable along with either Elucin coracana powder or with rice or with this bajra, because perfect combination. Carotenoids, vitamins, micro elements, and what is called the protein. They're carbohydrate. Perfect match. And unwritten scientific traditional knowledge. This is only crop. Used. Wonderful crop. So now come to the conclusion. Less exploitation, bioresources, and more produce product generation. Generating of product from waste and forwarding towards zero waste generation. These are all the idea. Progress towards achieving the SDG 2, zero hunger, including SDG 1, poverty, SDG 3, health, SDG 8, economic growth, SDG 12, sustainable production and consumption, SDG 13, climate change, and SDG 15, ecosystem, biodiversity, and forest, among the most relevant. So what we are discussing, what we are today, we are addressing, these are all inclusiveness of these SDGs, most of the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal, framed by UN 2015. So therefore, the conservation and use of urban crops and wild edible species for sustainable agriculture, diversified food systems, circular bioeconomy, and the sustainable and healthy diets are urgently needed to conserve and protect the conventional crop, pressure on the conventional crops. Now we need to, that means diversity, dietary aspects, all aspects. You should not stick with only eating alone. So anything, if you are doing intensification, the depletion of resource, we can't do it. Finally, ultimately, we are the sufferer. Thank you.